our module today on email, and this is one of the most important things you can learn to use on any technical device these days. So even if it's not your first time hearing this, I hope you learned something new. And as always, at the end, I'll be able to answer any questions that you guys may have, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and mute everyone so that we're all able to get the instruction.
Oh, yeah.
And then again, at the end, I'll be answering questions to the best of my ability, okay? Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so again, today we're talking about email on your iPad. We'll have the instruction first, and at the end will be our Q&A. I'm going to go ahead and read our disclaimer before we get started. The WildTech DC Senior iPad program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual health well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on the information in any applications or topics made by WildTech, including but not limited to mobile and device applications and any social media pages maintained by WildTech DC Senior iPad program, its owners or presenters as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. Thank you so much for letting me read the disclaimer. If you can't see me or hear me or can't see the screen, please let me know in the chat, and I would really appreciate it. These are our program guidelines. I'm not sure if we have any newcomers today. We may have some second and third timers. I think I do see a new name under Miss Gloria Dixon. But other than that, we have some second, third, and fourth and fifth timers on, but let's welcome Miss Dixon in the chat, okay? But for you and for others as well, just as a reminder, this program provides you this iPad, of course, until you complete the requirements on the right-hand side. Provides you the cellular data, so you can use your iPad in and outside of your home, which is provided by DACL, and provides you this individual one-on-one training, these online group sessions, in a few weeks, library trainings again, and tech support through our help desk. To participate in the program, you must remain in sole possession of your iPad, and you must participate in a one-on-one training that shows you how to access these sessions, get your Apple ID set up, etc. The main two requirements of a program is that you participate in at least 6 of these afternoon tech trainings that are held throughout the year. So for this requirement, anytime you join a class Monday through Friday at 1:30 p.m. with your name showing on Zoom, you'll receive credit towards that requirement. Once you do that and complete the midterm survey, that will be emailed to you sometime after you join the program. The iPad is basically 100% yours. So make sure you complete these 2 requirements. After that, it's up to you and what you like to join. But this program has been in existence since 2021, and we still have folks, even from them, still coming on and learning information because technology always changes, right? So it's always good to keep up with the trends. Additionally, you must utilize the iPad at least 3 days per week. Again, so the more that you use your iPad, the more you're able to utilize it in your daily life. And you must read the emails that we send to you and sometimes text messages because that says all of our information. Someone asked me earlier what we were covering today. That email, and again, your iPad calendar has all of that information. So make sure you check that out, especially on Mondays. So this coming Monday, even though we don't have class, the email will still be sent out. So that way you could check out and see what's going on for the next week. Again, you can also check your iPad calendar as well for our sessions. This is what the midterm survey looks like in your email. So sometime after you join our program, you'll receive something that says Senior iPad Program Midterm Survey. Make sure that you fill it out completely and hit submit. If you need assistance with that, call our help desk, the 800-6868 number, or email the survey email. Really appreciate it. These are the emails you can contact for assistance with your attendance. It's attendance@wildtech.org. For the midterm survey, again, it's survey@wildtech.org. And if you need anything regarding your iPad, any help, you can email our help desk at wildtech.org, or you can call our help desk at 800-6868 Monday through Wednesday and Friday from 11 to 2. Those are our new help desk hours for the next year. So make sure if you have a question, you call then. Even if you don't call during those times, please leave a voicemail and we'll get back to you within the best of our ability, okay? Again, Indigenous Peoples Day, or otherwise known as Columbus Day, is on Monday. So 3-day weekend. Make sure that you enjoy and rest, and we'll resume our sessions on the 10th. But make sure you check out that daily email on Monday for our agenda. Please make sure you show your screen name if you wish to receive credit for this class. If you're not showing as your first and last name in the participants list, you will not receive credit for today's session. We cannot distinguish who you are if you show as iPad or Zoom user, right? Because we do our attendance based on this Zoom list. And if you're showing as, if I look through, I see we have a phone number, someone under a phone number. Not sure who you are, but make sure that you rename yourself in Zoom, please, so that way you can get credit for today. Because if you're showing as iPad, that could be anybody, right? So it's really important that you have your name showing. You tap on participants at the top. That's so you can see who was in the call. The first line, it should say, when you have it right, your first and last name, me, okay? If it says iPad or Zoom user or anything else besides your first and last name, you're gonna have to tap on it and then hit rename, and then delete whatever is there, and then type in your first and last name, and then tap done. Congrats. Be sure to remember this method in future sessions to check and see if your name is showing. So what I recommend that you do, and even myself, you tap on participants, and as long as it says, again, your first and last name, me, you are good to go, okay? Next, we're gonna learn how to raise your hand virtually. So in order to keep meetings organized and have some type of etiquette and avoid talking over each other, I just ask that we use the raise hand button. You can find the raise hand button in the toolbar. At the end of each session, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions using this feature, okay? You do that by tapping more here at the top right, and then you tap raise hand. So it's just 2 simple taps. What I want everyone to do is raise their hand in Zoom for me, please, so that I know that you're here, that you're present, that if you have a question, you know that how to be able to have the opportunity to ask it. Again, that you're here, that you're ready to learn, that you can hear this instruction. Tap on more and then raise hand. I would like everyone on the call, if you can hear me, I want you to raise your hand. I want you to tap on more at the top right and then hit raise hand. You'll see at the bottom, once you have your hand raised, you'll see your hand is raised at the bottom. And that's how you know you have your hand raised, okay? Okay, we have 64 people on right now, so I want to see a lot of hands up. Tap on more and then raise hand. When you tap on the screen, you'll see that toolbar at the top, and then you'll see more and then raise hand. I want everybody to raise their hand. Again, so I know that you're here, that you're present, that you can hear this instruction, and that you know how to ask a question if you would like. Tap on more, then you tap raise hand. Again, if I raise my hand literally, like physically, we have 66 people on the call. There's no way that we're able to see it. So if any of you have your hand raised in person, that's not how you raise your hand. You tap more and then raise hand. Again, just like you see on my screen, you tap on the screen, you tap more, and then you tap raise hand. I see we have an iPad user. I need you to rename yourself for me, please. We just went over that a few minutes ago. Please rename yourself for showing as iPad. Just sent you the instructions in the chat. All right. We have 29 people raising their hand. Love it. And that's how I know that you're here, that you're listening, that you're present, and that if you have a question, you know how to raise your hand. What I want everyone to do now is lower their hands by hitting lower at the bottom. That blue button at the bottom, it says lower. I need you to lower your hand. Good job. Okay, we still have 6 folks that have their hand raised. I need you to lower your hands, please. That way, when you're done answering your question, you know how to lower your hands. So no, all you have to do, if you have your hand raised, you hit lower at the bottom. Or you can take an additional step and tap on more and then lower hand. But it's much easier just to hit lower at the bottom. Okay, thank you, Ms. Smith. I appreciate you changing your name for us. Thank you so much. Again, I need you all to lower your hand, please. Just tap on lower at the bottom. All right, we still got a few hands up. Not sure if you're with me, but hopefully you know how to lower your hands. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower everybody's hands, okay? Last but not least, before we get started for today, we're gonna learn how to use the chat. If you want to communicate with others non-verbally, the chat is a great way to share a greeting. Ask a question, congratulate, encourage others, and more. You do this by tapping more like before, but instead of tapping raise hand, you tap chat. When you tap chat, make sure it says send to everyone. And then you tap on where it says type here to chat or tap a message to reply. The keyboard will pop up, you type in your message, and then you hit the blue button with the triangle in it on the right to send it. I want everyone to send a chat in Zoom. Either a hello, a good afternoon, a happy weekend. I would like everyone to raise their hand. To send a chat, please. Tap on more, then chat. Tap here to chat right here at the bottom and type in a message and then send it. I want to see a lot of chats in the Zoom. Yeah, so that, again, so I know you're here. Yeah. Hello, hello. Yeah, I see some newcomers to the chat. Yeah. It certainly is Friday. We use the chat. Sometimes you guys have resources or information. You can put that in the chat as well. Again, you can, during our sessions or our events, we really encourage the chat feature so that way you can send your kudos and prayers to others, right? So yes, make sure you take advantage of the chat when you're in Zoom. Sometimes we may be able to answer a question during the session if you put it in the chat and it's relevant to what we're talking about. Yeah, happy Friday, everybody. Make sure you utilize the chat today's session. Maybe to say, hey, I didn't know that, or hey, that was interesting, that's good for myself to know, but others too, because they might find it interesting as well. So I see a lot of chats. So thank you so much, everybody. Those are the main things you got to know how to do when you're in Zoom, how to make sure your name is showing, how to raise your hand, and how to use the chat, okay? Awesome. So again, today we just did some housekeeping. We're gonna go over what is email, the parts of an email, etc. We're gonna go over how to use the Mail app and other things regarding it as well, like composing an email and adding attachments of that nature. And last but not least, but some safety tips and of course our Q&A. So any questions that you may have, that is the time to ask it, okay? So again, what is email? We're going to go over from snail mail to email, different parts of an email address, and the advantages of email, okay? So make sure you have your pen and paper ready next to you, especially if this is one of your first few times attending this module, so that way you can write down some notes so you can review it later, okay? So an actual email is a message transmitted and received by computers through a network. So every day when I wake up, I go to my mail app and check my emails that were sent to me by hundreds of thousands of different possible senders, okay? An email system allows computer users on a network to send text, graphic sounds, and animated images to other users. So without an email system, there would be no email, okay? Emails, you're again allowed to send text, graphics like pictures and videos, even sounds like MP3 files of that nature. You can have GIFs, PDFs, many different types of documents on an email. So it's very versatile. Next up, we're going to watch a video, just some background knowledge. It's always good to know where things come from and such. So this is how email, just because you hit send, doesn't mean it just sends over to whatever email address you put in, right? There always has to be a process for that. So this video goes over that process. And again, it's just additional information. The more you know, right?
When you send an email from London to your friend sitting in San Francisco, it somehow manages to find its way to the right address in a blink of an eye. But how does the email work and how it reaches the right recipient so fast? Let's find out. Thanks to the internet, communicating via email is almost instant. When you type your letter, enter the email address and click send, the email is sent almost instantaneously to the receiver. It looks like an amazingly simple process, but there are multiple stages called hops and multiple rules called protocols that get involved in the process. Before we look at the process, let's take a look at the main components of an email. For any email to be sent, you need a sender email, which is your email address, a receiver email, which is the email address of the person you are sending email to, the body of the email where you type the message, and a send button to send the email. The email address contains two parts combined with @ symbol. The first part identifies your username and the second part is the email service provider like Gmail or Yahoo. They are also called as email client. The set of rules governing outgoing emails are called Simple Mail Transport Protocol or SMTP. It is what your email client uses to send your message to your email server. The set of rules that governs the incoming emails are called Post Office Protocol or POP. POP allows the email messages to be kept on server so that you access and download it from your device. Once downloaded, they are deleted from the server. Internet Mail Access Protocols are the set of rules that also govern the incoming email. It is used by the receiver's email client to fetch your message from the email server and put it in your inbox. This allows the email messages to remain on the server and you can access them anytime from your device. The messages are not deleted from the server. When you click the send button, the email is sent to your or sender's email service provider. The SMTP of the sender's service provider then uses the service called domain name system or DNS to find the name of the email service provider of the receiver, after obtaining which the sender's service provider sends the email to the receiver's email service provider. The receiver's email service provider then sends the email to the recipient's inbox, from where you can open the message and reply to the email. Hope you liked this video and learned some fun facts about the emails. If you liked this video, please subscribe to the channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, so there are a set of rules that you need to follow in order to send an email. You need to have your own email account and address. You need the person's email you want to send it to. And you need to know what you need to put in the body of the email, what you need help with or want to let that other person know, okay? So that's how email works in a very basic manner. So there is something called snail mail that you may have heard of before, and we're going to compare it to email. So snail mail, it's a term used to refer to mail that is sent in the traditional way through the postal service rather than by fax, email, or other means of electronic communication. Versus email, excuse me, which is sent instantly. A message is sent directly from a user's mail program to another person's email address. So even though it may take days for snail mail or mail in general to send to another individual, barring different circumstances like weather and such, it's still necessary for sending packages like actual physical items or legal documents that require signatures. So physical mail is still needed, but if you can, email is a lot easier to send and open than an actual package. Because an email, it can't be lost. You may not be able to find it, but it's never lost because unless there is an issue pertaining to that. So it's a lot more secure in a way, okay? The first example of email can be found on MIT computers in a program called Mailbox. These users would leave messages for other users to read, but it only worked if they viewed it on the same computer. So each day, the first person to get on the computer would view a message if someone the previous day left it for them, for example. So only worked on one computer. But in 1969, the US Department of Defense implemented something called ARPANET, a network connecting multiple computers across the department. And if you look on the right-hand side, this was the first message to be sent from computer to computer. So just more food for thought. It was 1971, 2 years later, when Ray Tomlinson invented and developed electronic mail by creating the ARPANET's network email system. He also created the @ symbol, which we use again to connect the domain name and the username. So we have a lot to thank him for in regards to email. But what is an email address though? An email address is a unique identifier for an email account. So again, everyone on this call had a one-on-one training, and during that one-on-one training, you created or signed in with an Apple ID, which also involved either creating or using a previous email address. The example you see on the screen here, it's the very, very basic format of an email address. You have the username and the @ symbol, and then the domain. So again, Gmail, Yahoo, iCloud, any of those different domains go on the other side of the @ symbol. Again, the email address consists of 4 parts. Again, the username, it's usually the name of the person to whom the mail is sent. It doesn't have to be the person's name though, and the username can be anything. Not just your name, but more professionally, you'll see a combination, either their whole name or maybe their first initial and their last name, things of that nature. So for more professional emails, you may see that. But you know, if I would create an email address right now, I can make it anything I want. So I can make it numbers and letters, numbers or letters, any combination. You know, it's up to you. The @ symbol again separates the username and domain name. So that way it's just easier to read and make sense. You know, my email is abell@wildtech.org, right? So if you just think about it, that tells you where it's going to myself at that domain. Speaking of domain, it refers again to the mail server. So one example was iCloud. A lot of us have iCloud accounts. So iPad or Gmail or Yahoo, MSN, Outlook, any of those domains, even other ones that I didn't mention. You can look at that and see kind of where it's going. Last but not least is the top level domain, or TLD. It tells what type of web page they're using. So .com, .org, .edu, etc. But those are the 4 different parts of an email address, okay? Speaking of top-level domain or TLD, it's the last segment of the domain name, the part that comes after the dot, each one representing a type of entity. Some common ones include .com, as we know, usually entities that engage in commerce. So like Amazon.com, for example, is one. .org is usually for nonprofit organizations. So again, mine is abell@wildtech.org because WildTech is a nonprofit organization, right? .edu is used for educational institutions. So when I was in school or college, I had a .edu email address. .net are for network provider. So if you think of like Comcast.net, that's one website that uses .tld. The last but not least is .gov, which are used by government agencies. So we may know about our DACL's website, they're dacl.dc.gov, right? DCPS. Anything involving a government agency most likely has a .gov address or email address or website link, okay? So those are some of the common ones that you may see at the end of an email address. Do capitals matter in email addresses? And the simple answer is no. They do not matter in email addresses. They are not case sensitive, so it doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase. Modern mail servers essentially ignore capital letters. So if I look at this example right here, is there any difference between these two emails? No, one is just uppercase and one is lowercase. Again, conventionally they're lowercase because it's much easier to read this one in lowercase and uppercase, right? Because it's one consistency, it's one, one line throughout. So make sure when you're typing your email address, you don't have to worry about making anything capital. Just make sure that your numbers and your letters are in the right place, okay? Again, that means all the email accounts that you see below will go to the same email address. So there's user1@ipad.com 4 times. The only difference is that some of the letters are uppercase or lowercase. But again, as you can see, the very first one that has all lowercase is the easiest to read and type in. So why make it harder for yourself and just type in all lowercase? And again, just make sure your characters and numbers and letters are in the right place, okay? Some advantages of email include that it's a mostly free tool. You only need to be online. I know there's specialized cases, of course, where there may be a cost to email, but as far as I know, most, if not all, the most common emails that people use are free at first. It's quick. These emails are sent, delivered, and received almost immediately. When I sent an email out this morning regarding our nutrition bowl that was sent out immediately. So it's a very easy way to communicate information with others. It's simple. Once you get the hang of it, using it on your iPad, the mail app is very easy and to access and to get the information. Also, there's easy referencing. It's easier to go through old emails rather than old notes written on paper, because with the mail app or email, you can utilize the search feature and search for different emails. My oldest email is 16, yes, it's about 16 or 17 years old. If I wanted to go in that email and search for an email I sent in like 2008 or something, I can look that up in a second just by utilizing the search, rather than if you have like papers, you don't have to go through each paper and paper cuts, all that stuff. So it's so it's way easier to go through emails than actual written notes. So we're gonna make sure we take advantage of that. Email is accessible from anywhere. You only need an internet connection. As long as you have that and you have your device on you, you can access your mail right from your device. And last but not least is it's paperless. Email requires no paper. It's beneficial for the planet and reduces the cost of paper because it's not needed as much. So in the simplest sense, there's more surplus of the paper. So that way the cost of it goes down for other uses. So it helps our planet, but also helps folks' wallets as well. Next up, if you had an email before joining our program, let's say you had a Gmail, right? But you created an Apple ID, you made an iPad, but you just wanted to add that Gmail onto your mail app. It's very simple to do that. You tap on your settings. On the left-hand side, you scroll to mail, and then you look for accounts on the right-hand side. And then you find add accounts and you input your information. So it's a very simple process. Again, you go to your home screen and go to your settings. On the left-hand side, you're gonna look for mail. Again, I'm just swiping, so look through the menu, tap on mail. I tap on accounts, and then I see add account, right? So I tap on that. And look, all of these different options appear. So if you have a Gmail, you hit Google. If you have a Yahoo, you tap on Yahoo, AOL, it's etc. You can also create one from here if you like. So if you have an iCloud, but you just wanted an additional email address, I know myself, as you saw, I have about 6 email accounts. One of them is personal, one of them is semi-professional, 2 of them are professional, one is a test email. So it just depends on how you organize things. I would recommend less is more. If I didn't have to have 6, then it would be nice. But it makes the mail app makes it easier for you to view all of them at the same time. But if you like to create a new one or add your email, you would tap on that provider. So let's say you want to add a Gmail account. You tap on Google, and then you would sign in with your login information. So your email address and your email password. You can also create an account from any of these options. So again, Google, I saw create account. Yahoo, same thing. If I wanted to create a Yahoo, I could do that if I wanted to. And you'll be able to add it right here on your iPad, okay? So again, you go to settings, mail on the left-hand side, accounts, and then add account. That is how you add an additional email onto your iPad. Next up, we're just gonna go over how to use the actual mail app, what it is, how to compose an email, how to reply and forward an email, and add attachments to it as well. Some of the very basics and essentials of using any email server or app, okay? In the mail app, you can, again, read emails, add contacts, and even preview your email contents. So if you look on the left-hand side, this is what your email should relatively look like when you open the app. It may differ slightly for each of you all, but this is what it should generally look like. You should have the inbox on the left-hand side where you can view and search all of your incoming emails. And on the right-hand side is the last email that you selected to open. And it's even highlighted right here on the left-hand side. You see this email says from Jacqueline Pera, and right here, that's that same exact email. So whatever's highlighted, you'll see it on the right-hand side. That's how you know what email you're in. You can go up and down the inbox to view all of your different emails just by swiping up and down on that section. You can organize emails in your inbox. You can use a simple swipe to move individual emails to the trash. You can mark them as read and more. So on an individual email, you can swipe from the right to the left on it to either move it with more, flag it for later use, or delete the email by tapping on trash. You can swipe from the left to the right on an email, so the reverse, to mark it as read or unread, or to remind you about the email at a time of your choosing. So if I go into my mail app, and let's say I go into my test email, you see I have these emails in my inbox, right? If I swipe from the right to the left on an email, you see I have these different options. If I had more, I can move it or forward it, reply to it, mark it as read, all these different options available. I can even move it to junk if I don't need it. I can flag the email. So you see there's a little flag icon now, so it just flags it for later. You see when I look through and I see that flag, that catches my eye. So you can flag it or unflag it. You can also archive it. So archiving means that you're removing it from your inbox, but it's still in your email server, so you can search for it, things of that nature. It just won't appear in your inbox anymore. If you swipe from the left to the right on an email, you'll see that you can mark it as read. So I can even mark it as read without going inside of the email, which is, could be useful. I can also mark it back as unread. You see, whenever there's a little circle, blue circle next to the sender, that's how you know that is a new email. So for example, if I go into this one that we were just in, you see if I go to another one, for example, now there's no circle next to this one because we already opened it, right? Last but not least, you can remind yourself about that email for later. So if I hit remind me, in 1 hour, I can get a notification reminding me about that email. And it even pops up at the top. So for example, this one right here from Duolingo, I will remind myself for later in an hour. So you see it says today 3:07. Right now it's 2:07. So at 3:07, I'll get a reminder about that email that I got or a notification, okay? You can swipe left or right on an email to get these options, okay? So very simple stuff starting out. This video, again, seems to be an error on it. It shows you how to send and compose an email in the Mail app. And it's pretty simple. When you are inside of your Mail app, it doesn't matter what email you're on. If you look at the top right of your iPad or my iPad, you should see the Compose button. It has the square with a little pencil on it. That is the Compose button. You'll see that across different apps on your Apple device. If you tap on it, that's how you compose an email, okay? You type in the sender. So let's say you can even send things to yourself, but you type in the person's email. You can select which email you want to send it from if you have multiple people. So let's say I'm sending it from my work email. You can CC or BCC somebody if you want. I'll go over that shortly. You can add in the subject. So this is where you keep it short and sweet. So if you guys were emailing the attendance email, asking a question, I would put in like attendance or classes, class requirement or something. So make it simple. So I'll just put greetings for now. Make sure you type in your hello, how are you, all that. You put in whatever you want to put in the email, what you need help with or assistance, you want to let the person know. And then you end by saying like best or thank you or have a great weekend. And then you'll be able to send it by hitting this blue button right here at the top right. That is the send button. That's how you send an email, okay? So the person who's receiving the email is there in the to section, the subject is there, and I have my body, so I'm good to go. I'm gonna send it. And bam, I just sent that email. So if I go into my other email that I send it to, I will be able to access it. But simply you tap on the compose button, you enter who you want to send it to, the subject, and whatever you want to say inside of that email, and hit the blue button right at the top right. That's how you send an email to somebody, okay? You might have heard my computer. That was just me getting it. So that was 10 seconds, and I got it. So very fast. Speaking of that screen, these are parts of an email message, right? So now we're actually talking about the actual email, not the email address, but the actual email. Then the first one, the first section when you're writing an email is the to section. You can type the names. If they're in your contacts, I would recommend the email addresses of the people you want to send the email to. Again, you can tap on the plus button that you see on the right-hand side to open your contacts. If you have somebody's email inside of their contact, you can add them from there. Two is that carbon copy and blind carbon copy I was talking about, so CC or BCC. If you want to send a copy of the email to others, you can either publicly copy them or CC. For example, when we get a new guest, I'm CC'd on that email because even though I may not be confirming or talking to that guest, I still need to be aware that it's happening so that way I can make sure that it's in that daily email for you all, right? So if you want someone to see the message, but maybe not necessarily respond to it unless they feel like they need to, for example, I would carbon copy them. Or if you want to privately send a copy of the email to others where you don't want the other folks to see who you send it to, you would want to blind carbon copy them. So if you like the example, this user one, they will receive the email, and the person who got sent to the username right here at the top, they will be able to see that user one also received that email. But user two was BCC, so the CC or the two are not able to see that it was sent to them, okay? So if you want to publicly or privately send an email or a copy of an email to others, you can either CC or BCC them. The sender, so who it's being sent from. You can select what email account you want to send the email from by tapping on the from text field. So if you only have one email account on your iPad, I wouldn't worry about this. But if you have more than one, make sure you're sending it from the right email address. I would never want to send a professional email from my personal email. That one, yeah, that's not good. So you want to make sure that you know which email that you're sending it from. As long as you see it and you know it, then you're good to go. Next up is the subject. Again, what is the email about? A good subject line summarizes the email. Vague subject lines discourage the user from opening an email. So in like I would say 5 at like max 10 words or less in that subject. So that way, you know, they're able to see if it's something important because yeah, that matters. If I look at a subject line and it's just some gibberish, I'm not gonna look at that email because I probably know it's either spam at that point or yeah, not legit. So it's really important that you put in a good subject line that summarizes your email so the person you're sending it to is more inclined to open it in a shorter amount of time, okay? The salutation is next. So now we're actually getting into the body of the email. So your actual email message. Don't put your email in the subject line. Put it in the body of the message, okay? So keep that in mind. Again, the salutation is the greeting. It should match the tone you're trying to say in the email. So hello, like hi or dear, things of that nature. If you want to be a little more informal with maybe a friend, you know, what's up? How's it going? Things of that nature. So know your audience, basically. The email body contains the message of the email. It should be short and to the point. Don't put a whole essay in the email unless you're actually sending an essay to somebody. But even if you would do that, I recommend you put that in a document and attach it because again, the email body should be short and to the point, saying I need help or assistance with X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And I, most of the time, my max is like one, maybe two paragraphs regarding inside of an email because, you know, sometimes people don't have time to read the whole thing. So you want to make it as easy for them as possible. So make sure that you put in a short and to the point message. Last but not least is your closing. Well, there's one after that, but it's optional. But yeah, if you have a salutation like a hello, you also need a closing, like a goodbye, right? It should also match the tone set in the email. Formal closings include sincerely, or thank you, or best. I write best a lot. While more friendly closings can use talk to you soon or see you later. You know, a little more informal. But again, just know your audience. I think that's really important. You can also add a signature if you want to your email, and you can actually have it set up where you don't have to type it in each time. A friendly email might just end their email with their name. You know, if I was sending an email to my friend, I would be like, "Hi, blank. Here we go, best," or "Thanks, Alex," and that's it. But more professional emails may include their position, company, contact info, logos, or pictures, etc. And so for some organizations, that's a requirement to have that signature there. If you want to adjust the signature for your iPad, and by default, it will say sent from my iPad. You see here, whenever you send an email from your iPad, That's the default signature that is there. If you want to change that, you go to settings and then you tap mail like you did before, but instead you swipe down and find signature. And then you can set a signature for each email account that you have on your iPad. So if I go to my home screen and go to settings, and then I tap on mail on the left-hand side, like we did before, I'm just swiping down and finding signature. If I tap on that, I can either have a signature for all of my email accounts, or for each one I have on my iPad, I can create a new one. I need to update this signature though. But as you can see, you can edit it, and again, by default, it's just sent from my iPad is there. So let me just put that for now on my iPad. This is what you should see when you open an email up. But if you want to adjust it, like for myself, I sometimes send professional emails from my iPad. I mostly use my other devices, but my name, maybe our website of recordings or something. If I'm sending out an email from my professional email, and then if I wanted to, I put my cell phone number, 202, blah blah blah. So you can adjust the signature by all of your accounts or per account. And every time if you open a new email, you see if I go to my mail app and open a new email, that signature is right here. So you can adjust it anytime in settings by going to mail, settings, mail, and then signature, okay? Next up, you can actually schedule an email to send later. With the mail app, you can schedule emails for a later date. Once you have written your email, instead of just tapping on the send button, you touch and hold it, and then you can choose when you want to send it. You can tap send later to see more options. Yeah, if I go to my email and I write this email, let's say again, I'm sending it to myself, blah, 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 ABC for the subject, whatever the subject is, you do what you did before, you write your email out. Instead of just tapping the send button, I'm gonna hold it, okay? And then look, I can either send it now, they give me two options. I can send it at 9 o'clock tonight or 8 a.m. tomorrow. Or if I hit send later, I can choose the date and the time that I wanted to send. So maybe I want to send this to myself at let's see, at 2:30. So in about 10 minutes. So in about 10 minutes, I'll see the notification or the email in my own email account at 2:30. I hit done. And there you go. I'll see that email or whoever I'm sending it to will receive it in 10 minutes. So if you don't want to send an email then, like let's say it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. If it's like professional, I wouldn't send that email out at 3 o'clock, right? I would schedule it for later in the morning, maybe when I first get on shift. And that way, it's not sending it at 3 o'clock. Right? So that's just one instance. I don't use that feature too much, but it's just there in case you need to use it. Okay. You can add an attachment to your email. In the mail app, you can attach photos, videos, files to an email. And there are two different methods of accomplishing this. When you're inside of the body of an email on the keyboard, you'll see this camera icon on the keyboard, or you'll see this file icon on the keyboard right here. I wish I could zoom in more. But it's that paper looking icon right here next to this pencil. That's the files icon. You can tap on either of those to add a document or a photo or video from your photos, or even scanning a physical document, which is pretty cool. Or you can tap in the middle of the body of the email and you'll see this navigation bar pop up. You tap on the arrow and you'll see the option where it says insert photo or video or attach file. And you'll be able to tap on either one to add either one of those to that email. So again, start an email, making sure I have my subject and my person I'm sending it to. And as soon as I tap in this body, again, there are two ways. If I tap on this camera icon right here on the keyboard above the letter W, I can use a picture that I already have. So let's say this one. And you can add as many pictures. So let's say I also wanted to add this picture. Once you're done adding them, you hit the X right here, and you see I have two images right here in this email ready to send. Make sure you tap on the left-hand side so you can hit the enter to space it, so that way you could still write your text. I would recommend I would recommend you type your email out first and then add your images, just to make it easy. You could do things in one spot, but same way. You can add the images first or add the text first, blah, blah, blah. There you go. And then just like before, if you're in the body of an email, you can add a file. So if I look at the file icon right here above the delete key on the keyboard, I can add any file that is on my iPad or on my iPod as well to this email. So that's one way. Inside of an email, you see if I tap, you guys should see the cursor blinking, right? That's how I know I'm about to type something in the email. You tap where that cursor is blinking, and you'll see this pop up. So just a quick tap, just like this. Whenever the cursor is blinking, you tap in that area, and then you'll see these different options. You can paste something that you copied earlier on your iPad, all these other different options, but you can also, again, insert photo or video, or you can attach a file from your Files app on your iPad, okay? So that is how you add an attachment. If you want to reply or forward an email, there are three different ways that you can do this, which I'll show off right now. One way, again, if I'm in an email and I just want to get out of here for a second, I cancel and it goes away. If I swipe from the right to the left on an email and hit more, you should see these options: reply, reply all. You can forward an email to somebody, you can archive it, and other options. So that's one way to move or reply or forward this email. If you look at the top in the middle, right here, these different icons, the very first one is the reply button. The second one is the reply all button. The third one is the forward button, and you see it says forward now, and etc. Let's see, this button right here that I pressed, you can read it or unread it right here. So there's read, unread. You see this circle change on the left? That's how you know if it's read or unread. So if I read it, if I go to a new email, that blue circle is no more. If I hit unread, now it's back to the circle. You can flag it or unflag it. I think this is the archive option right here next to the flag one right here. Yep, I just flagged that email. Archived it, so it went away in the inbox. And this is the compose button right here. So you can utilize these shortcuts here at the top if you'd like. So again, reply, reply all, forward, read, unread, flag, archive, and then compose. This last button right here, these three dots, you can customize what's here, but I think it's pretty good. It's up to you if you want to adjust it. So that's the second way. You can do it from the inbox by swiping and hitting more. You can reply or forward from the top, or if you see this arrow at the bottom right-hand side, you see the same options: reply, reply all, forward, and these options as well. So there are three different ways you can forward, reply, or move an email when you're in the mail app, okay? Next up, we're gonna learn how to add a mailbox or a folder in your mail app, and you can create them that you can use to organize your email, right? So we're gonna watch a quick video on how to create this folder inside of your email and how you can get that set up, okay?
This guide shows you how to create a folder for email storage on your iPhone or iPad. It then shows you how to move the messages into that folder. So first of all, go into your emails. Make sure that you're in the inbox for the email account that you want to create the folder for. Then tap the back button just up here. Then tap edit just at the top of the screen here. Then tap new mailbox just at the bottom of the screen here. It asks you to type a name for the mailbox or folder. So let's just call that Chris Important. Then it asks you to select the mailbox location, so i.e. the account for which the mailbox is going to be used. So tap this here. Then you need to scroll down and select the email box that you wish to put the folder in. Then tap the email address where you wish to put the folder. Then tap save. And as you can see, Chris Important has now appeared
Yep,
down there. So to finish off, we just tap done just up here. Okay, so we go back into our inbox just here, and say if I wanted to move one of these emails into a folder, all I do is I just tap on the email, okay,
swipe
and then I
more
tap
and move.
folder just up here, and then I select the folder that I want to move it to. So I'm going to tap Chris Important, and there we go. It then gets moved into that folder. So there you go. That guide showed you how to create.
Yep, how to create a folder in your mail app and how to add an email to that particular folder. So again, like you did before, you tap on the mailboxes icon to view your current mailboxes. You have to be in that screen. You tap on edit at the top in the upper right corner, and then at the bottom, you look for new mailbox. You give that mailbox a name, and then you tap on the mailbox location and choose what account you want to associate with that particular mailbox. You tap save, and then you tap done. So again, if I go into my mail app, you all, and then you see I'm in the inbox, and then here's the last email that I opened, right? If I tap on the top left square, it takes me to my different mailboxes, right? This is the screen that you're gonna wanna look at to add a new folder to one of these, or one of them that's on your iPad. If you only have one, then you add a folder to that one. You hit edit, make sure that the edit in the mailboxes, and you can ignore everything here. At the bottom, you'll see where it says new mailbox. When you tap on that, again, you're gonna type in the name. So for example, I would want to have a folder maybe for just bills, right? Just bills. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it into my, let's see, my iPad. I already have one for bills in my iCloud, but same difference. Let me change it. Instead of bills, maybe I can write entertainment. Maybe all of my entertainment emails can go here. It's up to you. I'm gonna go to iCloud. I want to use it for that one. You can use it for anyone that you'd like. There goes that email that I sent to myself 10 minutes ago. It's in here now. And then hit save and then done. So now if I go to my iCloud, you see now I have a bills from before and now a new entertainment folder as well. So if I go into my iCloud email, because again, you cannot move an email from another email account into another email account's folder. It has to stay within the same one. So I'm in my iCloud email and I had one for entertainment. Let me see if I can find one for entertainment. Doesn't really matter, but just as an example. Here you go, Eventbrite. That's entertainment. What if you want to move it, you do the same thing like before. If you wanted to reply or forward it, you can swipe, hit more, and then hit move message. And you see in iCloud, I can move it to entertainment. Again, and then I can hit the bottom right arrow and do the same thing. I can move the message and then I can move it into the entertainment folder. And then if I go back to my mailboxes and go in there, you see now that it is in my entertainment folder in my iCloud email account, okay? So again, you hit edit in the mailboxes, new mailbox, you type in the name of the new folder that you want and choose what email account that you want to add it to, okay? Just make sure that the majority of emails that you're moving is from the same one, same email, because you cannot move an email from a different email account to another email account's folder. It has to stay within the same one, okay? Almost done here. You can actually send group emails if you want. For example, you know, we have study groups, Girl Scout groups, church groups. If you consistently email a group of people that you have to individually type the emails in that email screen, this is a way to send a group email. In your contacts app, you add a new contact named as the group, right? So again, study group, Girl Scout group, or church group. You add all of the email addresses in the add email section separated by commas, and then you tap done. Once you tap done, basically all the hard work is done. You tap on the mail button in the contacts app, and then you're able to send them a group email, okay? So I'm gonna show this to you all as well. So if I'm on my iPad, and then I go to my contacts app, you hit the blue plus button at the top to create a new contact, right? So again, contacts right here at the top, it's the blue plus button. The first step is to name the group, and that's where you put the company. That's where I would put it. So again, church group, study group, let me write Girl Scout group this time. Or Girl Scouts, you need to put the word group, just name it so you can access it later. So they're Girl Scouts. For the email, you see it says add email, right, you all? I'm going to tap on the plus and then add all of their emails in this one line, okay? Just one line. So for example, these aren't real emails, just examples. a@bc.org, and then you place a comma, okay? You type that in, d@ef.org, comma, g@hi.org, doesn't have to be .org, it could be anything, l@mn.com. And you keep writing now, you see email, comma, space, email, comma, space, email, comma, space, right? So we have 4. And again, you can add as many as you like. I know some groups can be 20, 30 people in it. And it would be very tedious to each week have to individually type in their email addresses if you want to send them an email, right? So this is a great way to do it. So once you have all of their emails and they look good to go, you tap done, okay? And when you tap done, look, you have all their emails right here in the middle, and then you should see above the emails, you'll see message, call, video, mail, pay. So look, mail is lit up because you're able to send them an email. When I tap on mail, you see, there you go. I have all the emails there. All I have to do is type in the subject. So this is Girl Scouts. I would meeting, something like that. Hello, blah, 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 ABC, best, Alex. And then I'd be able to send it, but how easy was that? Once you get it set up in your contacts, you can send out group emails very quickly just by accessing that contact and hitting that mail button, okay? So that is, you know, it takes some setup, but once you get it all the way set up together, then then you'll be golden. Before we go into our safety tips, these are just 3 quick and easy tips that you can use. I know it says iPhone, but all 3 of them work on your iPad as well, okay?
Here are 3 tips to help you save time in mail on your iPhone. You can select multiple emails without using the edit button. Just use 2 fingers on the screen to drag and select as many as you'd like. With multiple emails selected, you can delete, move, mark as read, and more, just like that. For a quick way to view your email drafts, just touch and hold the Compose button in the bottom right corner. Now you can edit your emails and send them when you're ready. Easy! Want to get notified about an email at a later time? Starting in iOS 16, you can schedule a reminder. Just swipe right on an email and tap Remind Me. Select a default time you want to be reminded, or schedule a specific time. We'll choose 1 hour. On the right side of the email, your scheduled reminder will appear. And after your selected amount of time passes, you'll get a reminder if you have notifications turned on. Tap it to open the email, and it will even jump to the top of your inbox with a Remind Me label. And those are a few tips to help you get the most out of mail on your iPhone.
Or iPad. Yeah, we went over the reminder portion. The other two were pretty cool. If I go into my inbox on my iPad, and again, let's go into my inbox. Instead of you can hit edit in the inbox and then select them if you want, and they can move them or mark them or trash them. Or again, like you did, you can use 2 fingers and select them just by dragging them down. So I think that's sometimes is easier than having to hit edit and then do that. But just use 2 fingers down, and then you can select as many emails as you'd like. If you hold onto the compose button, like he did, I can view all of my drafts. So these were all my drafts from before, and I can quickly view them by holding the compose button. Last but not least, like they said, if you swipe right on an email, you can have it a reminder about it to yourself in the selection amount of time. So in 1 hour, like he did, 1 hour, I'm going to get a notification in my notification center, and it will jump to the top of my inbox. Okay, so those are some 3 tips that may help you when using your mail app. Last for today, we're going to be talking about just some quick safety tips, how to stay safe when using email. I know yesterday we had Miss McCauley and Cyber Senior talk about scams and security, so this is no different. Really important to keep remembering this. One, never open an email from someone you don't know. If you look at that sender and again you do not recognize that sender, or you don't know who that person is, I really would not open that email at all, unless you were confident you were receiving some kind of information. But other than that, I would not open an email from someone that I never communicated with. 2, don't send any personal information through email. So like social security numbers, routing and accounting numbers, your address, most likely like that. Your bank or credit card should never contact you by email to obtain information. Even with us, like we do not encourage sending actual addresses through email. We would call you unless you were expecting it or talked to about it before. But normally through email, I would not put any personal information unless it was relevant to that person. And again, if I knew who it was from. Remember that once an email is sent, it can be forwarded to others. Think twice about the content in the email before you send it. So one, if you wouldn't say it to their face, I wouldn't put it in an email, because again, once you hit send, it's sent to the other person, and there's a record or history of it, right? So, and it's also good to check any typos, or if you forgot some information, or you need to change anything, just double check your work before you send it. Okay. Do not open attachments or links in email, again, if you do not recognize the sender, and if if you're not expecting that email. If you're not expecting that email and you don't recognize the sender, do not open any attachments, do not open any links in that email. I would just delete that email and keep it moving. Okay, so just double check pretty much everything, not just email, that you do on your iPad before you hit send or done or complete, or again, you send it over, just so that way you can just, check yourself. Sometimes I, right before I hit send, I'm like, oh, I forgot this, right? So you just make sure you double check your emails before you send, and don't open the email if you don't know that person and you're not expecting it, okay? Other than that, these are the emails you can come to contact for assistance regarding attendance, your midterm survey, any general help. Oops, it should say Monday through Wednesday and Friday from 11 to 2 for a help desk. So again, Monday we are off. Oops, Monday we are off. Make sure that you guys enjoy your 3-day weekends. If you would like to still call our help desk, you can leave a voicemail that we would probably be able to get to it on Tuesday or Wednesday. But other than that, please enjoy your 3-day holiday weekend. Stay safe, have fun, relax, maybe think about what you learned this week and maybe something new that you weren't expecting. You know, I use the weekend to reflect myself on any things that I enjoyed or things that could be improved, thing about nature. So make sure you use this time to rest, but also utilize your iPad to make your holiday as best as it could be, okay? But at this point, it's about 2:42, so we're good on time. We have just a couple minutes. So if you guys have any questions, please raise your hand in Zoom. This is the time to ask any questions regarding emails, anything that I went over today. If you don't have a question, you are feel free to leave or go. I would recommend that you stay on and listen to other questions from other folks. I always get a question that I may have not thought of before. So it's really good that we listen to others and we may learn something from them as well, okay? So yes, please feel free to leave if you'd like. Have a wonderful and blessed weekend. If you would like to listen to other questions, please stay on and I'll do my best to get through as many hands before you have to go for today. But thanks for coming on. This was a lot of fun as always. I see you have 2 hands up, Miss Marie first and then Miss Mary. Go ahead and hit unmute in the middle. There you go, Miss Marie, how are you? Hi, Miss Franklin, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Good.
What holiday are you talking about?
Yes, it's kind of hard to hear with your TV.
What holiday are you talking about?
Yes, it's Columbus Day, otherwise known as Indigenous Peoples Day. So again, you're getting an email.
That's Monday?
Yes, ma'am. So 3-day weekend. So I
hope
you enjoy
thank you.
Yes, again, make sure you check your emails, y'all.
Okay, have a good weekend.
Oh, you too, Miss Marie. Thanks for getting on today.
Okay, bye-bye.
Don't forget to lower your hand. There you go. Yeah, again, you guys will be getting an email, the same graphic. Let me put that on the screen for you all for now. Same graphic. Again, it's Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday. So no class on Monday. Please enjoy your 3-day weekend. And we'll be resuming our sessions on the 10th, so next Tuesday, okay? Next up is Miss Matthews. Go ahead and hit unmute in the middle. There you go. How's it going, Miss Mary?
Hi, okay. I can't seem to get under my name and the participant, get me out of the parentheses.
That's because it's you, ma'am. That's what it's supposed to do. The first person in participants list, it always says whatever, then me. The second person is always the host, and then it will be everybody else in the call, okay? So as long as it says Mary Matthews, me. Yes, ma'am. That's the intent. That's what it's supposed to do. That's because it's you. So as long as it says Mary Matthews, me, you're good to go, okay?
Okay, thank you. And one more. I
Yes,
heard someone say that you can review the classes that you've had.
Yes, Miss Mary, there are different ways to access those. We have our own YouTube channel. If you look at the very bottom of our daily emails, you should see the link to that website with their library of recorded sessions. You'll see it says wildtech.org/DACL. Should be at the bottom of any daily email that you received. Or if you're on your iPad home screen, it was preloaded with some apps or icons. On my screen, you should see the WildTech icon, that blue and green icon, or you may see our logo, which says WTA DACL. That's how you can also quickly access our YouTube sessions for any ones that we have uploaded there. But what I can say is for some of them, they have not like these modules. They may be on there, but they're not as recent as we'd like them to be. We're working on it, so they'll be more recently soon. but I would just keep that in mind. But yes, like our advanced sessions, any of our interest groups, or our Tuesday guests, all of the majority of the sessions that we've had these past 2.5, 3 years, they will be on there. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, Miss
good
Mary. You too.
Have
I
a great
hope you
weekend.
enjoy your 3-day weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Yep, and don't forget to lower your hand.
Oh,
Yep,
shoot.
lower at the bottom. Next up is Miss Deborah. Go ahead and hit unmute in the middle, Miss Deborah. Again, Miss Deborah, you got to hit unmute in the middle. That's how you can unmute yourself. Again, Miss Mary, I need you to lower your hand, please. You got to hit lower at the bottom. If you don't see that, you can tap on more and then lower hand.
Okay, now?
Yep, there you go, Miss Deborah. How's it going?
Oh, okay. I just wanted to know if I was in the class for the day.
Ms. Deborah, as long as you can hear me and see the screen or hear the presenter, and if you check the participants, as long as it says Deborah Shamsal-Me, then you're good to go.
Okay, so what happens is when I'm trying to be able to see where you say name your name. I don't see that.
You don't have to rename yourself because you're already showing as your name, ma'am. If you were not showing as your first and last name, you would tap on whatever is there, me, and then you would see that rename option. Okay. Just like we went over. If I go to that screen where we went over how to change your name, again, if it doesn't say your first and last name, all you have to do is tap there, and then you'll see rename. But you're good to go. Okay.
Okay. You have a nice weekend and a holiday.
You too, ma'am. You too. I didn't realize it was a holiday until Tuesday of this week. So
I didn't know it.
Yes, ma'am. So again, I hope you enjoy your 3-day weekend. All right.
Yeah. Thanks for telling me. I didn't know either.
Yes. Again, you'll be receiving this very graphic on Monday. So everybody in the program should again make sure that you check your emails every day. I cannot stress them, and not just for you, Miss Deborah, but for everybody in the call, especially if you join every day. That's how you can see again our classes, our information, our dates, our times, any flyers, what day it is, what the highlight of the week is. So that email has a lot of information and can answer a lot of your guys' questions. So make sure you check that out. Okay.
Okay, I'm still learning.
No problem. You have a good rest of your day, Miss Deborah.
Okay, thank you too. Bye.